But again, you're the Board of Education. If you give me a directive, I'll make something happen.
I mean, I totally hear where you're coming from, where you want to open up Pandora's box. And I'm just brainstorming here. And like, is there a way, I'm trying to think back, like how we used to have computer labs before everyone had a computer. Like, is there a way we could have like just 2 or 3 computers where it's like Sports U, hey, I got to talk to mom. All right. Like, go there during lunch and like send mom a quick message and then be on your way. I'm trying to like do it without
You could do
encumbering.
that.
That's the same thing
You
as
could
going
actually
like
say,
the office.
you could go to the nurse, the guidance office, or the main office and pick up the phone and call.
Right.
Any student
Right.
could do that at any time.
Right.
I'm thinking about the parents who express to us that their child may be having a bad day or having like a mental breakdown, or like they need to talk to their parent because they're upset. They had a fight. They broke up with their girlfriend, whatever, like whatever reason. They don't want to be in the office talking about that in front of the secretaries. Maybe they just want to have someone listen to them for a few minutes and that's their parent. I don't know. I feel like
So
we
I'm
just-
guessing like, what is the directive that you're looking for Mark to do?
Well,
Is like,
I want him to open up Sports U to every student.
right,
That's the
okay,
directive
so
I'm
that's,
looking
if
for.
that's what you're asking us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but that's just how I feel.
To open Sports U to make it accessible to everybody.
Once that genie's out of the bottle, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. That's what I'm worried about.
The only way to do it would be just to remove Sports U, which,
Turn it right off. It's off.
I mean, the only thing is, look, Christine was part of the policy-making team, right? Tom was part of the policy-making team, and Amy was part of the policy-making team, and part of, and Jillian, sorry.
Yep.
And so, and part of what you said was that it would be revisited, right? We would leave it and we would revisit it, and we've already revisited it and changed it, and the year hasn't even started
this
yet,
level
and-
of specificity, is that the word? Was not part of the policy discussion, just to be clear. So
Right.
this, by deciding this right now, we're not really affecting the policy. The idea of the policy was to get cell phones and social media and internet,
No,
you
all
know,
that I
to the
understand, I
kids,
get it.
which I still firmly believe in. This was a subset of questions on how the parent-student piece.
Okay, so Kelly is asking us and asking Mark if we could put, I'm okay with that, if that's what we're looking to. So like in essence of moving on, like we've touched on everything.
Okay. Are we offline?
We're back up, yeah.
Okay.
Just having to refresh the page.
How long have we been off?
Few minutes, so
Okay.
something we can see on
Okay.
YouTube side, so.
Okay.
I can tell we're all torn.
All right, so
There's
can we
no good answer at this point. And
No, I think the
it's
best
frustrating.
argument is if you're going to do for some, you should do for all.
I can't see how yeah, that's
It's-
exactly.
It's hard
one
to
or all.
argue that point, and then, but Chris's point, and I believe Mark's point, is, do you want to circumvent the real purpose of the rule in itself? And then I think that's where then we can look in December and we look back and we say, listen, this is what we thought. We thought it was going to be beneficial. It's been a nightmare. We take feedback from the teachers. We take feedback from the kids. We take feedback from Anthony when he's here in September and October. Because honestly, he'll probably be the most valuable member at the table at that point. And then we just revisit it. So,
I agree.
We agree with,
Is it not working?
no, they're working.
It's when you have
I
too many
agree with
people.
Desmond. We have a policy in place. The governor has told us what to do. We gave that group gave great thought, time and effort to it. I do have faith. I believe in our parents. I believe in our students. Let's see how we do, and then we can revisit it.
What do you agree?
With the sports.
Well,
one?
I don't think, we can't do that because if it's
Oh,
not
yeah, I
open
was
to
saying.
all,
Oh, yeah.
So
it's-
that's what I was
if
saying.
it's not open to all, I don't think we should do that.
I'm asking that it be
So
open to all.
Just, let's go with our policy. See what happens.
No, but I was
No.
okay. I don't, it's either all or none. is
With
what I
that,
was saying,
right,
yeah.
but we can't do all.
No, we
he said
can. That's what we're asking
Oh,
him
He
to
said you
do.
can. And then if the teachers come back and the kids come back and we just find out that it's creating more problems, then like Christine said, then we revisit it. And, if we have to remove Sports U, we remove Sports U.
So that would be for middle school and high school. You're going to allow them access to the other people and their parents all day.
And it's not
Other
necessarily
people
that easy because you have to
The
create
group.
teams, but yeah.
The group.
Like baseball would be set up as baseball.
Right.
Homeroom.
Orchestra.
Yeah,
To
homerooms.
Kelly's point, you could set up like class of 2025 and have everybody in the group.
Well, that would be
That's
silly,
defeating
right?
the
Yeah.
purpose.
It would just, I think it should be homerooms,
Homerooms
maybe
or-
homerooms. Then you're really limiting it. I want to be clear. I don't want anyone to think I'm not in favor of the cell phone ban. I do think it's a great idea. I want that to be clear. I'm not saying that. I do think the kids should not have endless access to everything. But in that same thread, I also want to note that by asking for Sports U, you're taking the internet, your phone, which is this huge concept, and now we're putting it down really, really tiny to just these 18 kids that are on your baseball team. Okay, so it's not a crazy thing. We're not like opening up everything again. I feel like we're missing that point here.
I agree with what you're saying, and I want parents to be able to reach, or their kids to be able to reach their parents in a time of need, right? But at the same time, like all the policy that you previously discussed, I feel like we're kind of undercutting all of that.
Not all of it.
And we're kind of, it's not just 18 because now it's 18 kids times 2 parents. You know what I'm saying? So with that one team,
It's still infinitely less than the
18.
internet.
No,
It's
I
still
know, but now
infinitely
you're
less.
already up. Now you're already up to 65, and you're in a group chat. So like now all of a sudden, like a kid is in their Chromebook, bing, 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 which is exactly what we wanted to present.
Do we think 65 parents are going to be texting their kids all day? Do we think that? Like, does that happen?
No,
Am
but
I
I'm-
naive?
What I'm not,
Does that happen?
But what I'm saying is like, say, just as a coach, like, hey, listen,
parents?
baseball is canceled. We don't have any gym space because other sports or whatever. And as soon as I send that as a coach, every single kid is going to go, okay, I got to get it right. And then the parents are going to respond to that. So right away, you're in class and now you have 54 messages within 5 minutes.
No, it's between the parent and the student
Yeah.
only.
Let me
So they
clarify.
can talk to each other though.
Yeah.
Let me clarify.
They can, but
me clarify.
not in this case.
The coach will send out a group message. Baseball practice is canceled. The parent will get that message. The kids will get that message. The kid and the parent can direct message the parent only, or back and forth. I'll pick you up at 2 or whatever it might be. You can do that. But also, a kid could text another kid, hey, do you want to come with me? Or do you want to go over after school? Or hey, did you see that thing on Facebook last night about X, Y, and Z? And it's human nature for all of us to like get interested in what everyone has to say on their phones.
But do you think
And
they
this will
might do
be
that in the hallway?
I would hope that they would not, but I do think that once you open it up, it makes it harder to manage, and it does undercut the intent of the law.
But if we say we're revisiting, and we're trying to be fair and inclusive for all, then we
Yeah.
revisit.
But my question is, are you saying you want to just hold it the way it is and then revisit it after we see how it goes? Or are you saying you want me to use Sports U to kind of give everybody access and then see how it goes?
Here's where I stand. I think we use Sports U, but we put it in a part of the building where kids can access it if they want it. Like, I think putting it on a Chromebook and having 20 messages just fly across the screen is going to open up Pandora's box. And that's what I'm really afraid of. And I don't want to dismiss Kelly's concerns because I think they're really valid. And that's why I think there should be a separate place for that to be used if we have the room for it. That's all I'm suggesting.
But what's the difference between that and the student going to the office and using a phone or the nurse's office? It's the same thing. They have to go out of their way to go to a separate location, which has to be manned by somebody. We have to have that device. What if there's 16 kids waiting to use 2 devices? That doesn't seem like a really logical idea.
I think it's just a way to alleviate, like you were saying, 16. So like, all right, some kids are hopping on the phone. Some kids are, we have 5 the laptops. Like, all right, I let mom know. I got to go. It's just, it's another way to
And if they're
alleviate
late
stress.
getting back to class, what are they going to get in trouble? Do they get a hall pass for that? Do they get detention
I
for
think
being
if
late?
you're-
I mean, there's a lot of
as a reasonable
variables.
teacher, that stuff happens all the time.
Is there everybody a reasonable teacher?
So Kelly, I have a question. So you would like them to be able to talk to their parents during class on their Chromebook?
Anytime.
Really? Well, and
Listen, I said this last week, or last meeting. Need my son to call me up and say, I need some cookies. No, okay? But if some child is having a breakdown because they just got embarrassed by somebody in gym and they just want to talk to their mom, are you saying that they shouldn't be able to talk to their mom?
Absolutely not, because they'll go to a teacher, because all kids have their teacher, or they'll go to their guidance
Maybe.
counselor or an
Maybe.
assistant principal or a social worker,
Mm,
and that person will get them in touch with their parent immediately.
I don't know that every kid would go to a person.
Well, you know what?
I actually
Kids who
think-
don't go to people, teachers usually pick up on it that they're not okay.
I still don't agree with that. I still think that everybody should have access to the sports U. I have 2 kids in the school right now, and I'll tell you, I don't really need this for my kids because they are both in sports. And if I really needed to, and my daughter drives now, so I really don't even need to worry about rides. But I'm talking about everybody else in the community that has reached out about this.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm really digging my heels in here because I feel like this is a big issue.
Okay, so if I could just see a brief polling, how many of you want me to speak to the administration about opening the Sports U concept to all students?
I think you have to. If you're gonna do one, you have to.
I just want a yes or
Yes.
1, 3, 4. Okay, and how many are opposed to that?
I'd like to start with just the policy that was made, revisit it maybe even sooner than December.
Right. Okay, I'm going to speak to my team and I'll get back to you guys immediately. All right, on another note, as the school year is getting ready to begin, we just want to kind of go over the protocol for communication with our school district. We want to make sure that parents and families, as we've been talking about, have instant access to get the best results that they can when they have a concern or when they have a need. So if you have a concern about something going on with your child, we encourage you to talk directly to the teacher or to the original source. That person is best equipped to answer your questions and handle the situation. If you're not satisfied after talking to that original source, we have the chairpiece person, guidance counselors, social workers, school psychologists, or if it's sports related, the athletic director who you could speak to. If you're still not satisfied with how things are progressing, the next step would be the assistant principal or if it's a special education issue, the assistant director of special education or director of special education. And you continue down the chain. If you're still not satisfied, assistant superintendent for PPS, Ms. Macris, curriculum, Ms. Dignola, or business, Mr. Bartels. And then if you're still finding that you're not getting where you need to get to, the superintendent, yeah, it is supposed to be on the screen. So I'm thinking I'm showing people stuff, but clearly I'm not. I really need this to get fixed. It was working fine. And it was up 10 minutes ago. I don't know.
Is there something we have to do over here?
No, it's on. The TV is on.
I get it fixed.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it's.
Bluetooth, right?
I mean, I have internet that's disconnected strong.
Yeah, the stream is still working.
Yeah, I think you're hard connected.
Right, but nobody in the audience can see the PowerPoint.
Right. Can you see it on the live stream? No. No.
Somebody lost the connection.
Something happened when I unplugged it.
It's up here.
All right. Well, yeah. Basically, there's going to be a communication guide mailed out to families, and it's going to be more specific than I'm describing with who to communicate with, when, and under what circumstances. So if it's a sports issue, if it's a guidance issue, if it's a class issue, if it's an academic issue, if it's a bullying issue, you look in the guide and it tells you exactly who to communicate with so you can get the most efficient and quick responses, because we want you to get a quick response and we want you to have your issue resolved right away. I also have great news. I want to congratulate Principal Bricker and the entire high school faculty and staff, as the high school is named a top level high school across the nation by U.S. World News Report rankings. The high school was basically ranked in the top 8% of high schools nationally. So of the 17,000 plus schools in the top 8% nationally, we were in the top 11% across New York State, and we were number 8 high school in Suffolk County. That was measured by academics, by AP enrollment, by a graduation rate, and even despite those rankings, if you look at the kind of things that we're doing in our schools, it's quite amazing to see the great work of our students and our staff, because you can't measure caring and support, and the caring and level of support for our students is just phenomenal. And I just want to give a shout out to the faculty and staff and the high school. Just want to give the board a construction update. The cafeteria bathrooms at the middle school are nearing completion. The partitions are being installed Wednesday, followed by the remaining accessories. The cleaning crew will be in at the end of the week, and they'll be ready for opening day. I do have some pictures, which I will post to the internet, and you can look at another time. Also, the high school bathrooms near the guidance office and the sports area in the gymnasium are completed. The partitions have been installed, and the cleaning crew is doing a thorough job getting those ready. And there's a minor punch list, but they should all be up and running and ready to go for September as well.
Can I just say, we always, at this time of year, even like last week, you start to look around, you're like, how are they ever going to pull this together? And our buildings and grounds and custodial crew and their cleaners always manage to make everything ready for the first day of school.
Correct.
So again, I just like to acknowledge the hard work that they do and thank them, and look forward to our buildings being clean and ready to go on Tuesday morning.
Yep, it's really nice. They do a great job, and we want to thank them for that. The AC units at the high school, all cafeterias and the auditorium are now air-conditioned spaces. So if there's a hot day or if we have performances with the hot lights on, we'll have a cooling in those spaces as well. So we're really happy about that at the high school. At the middle school, we installed a new boiler. This is part of our energy performance contract. We're in the process of fixing the other boiler, and that should be ready to go by the heating season. And we have solar installation happening, which is it started at the high school. So they're putting the panels on the roof at the high school, and they're going to be working their way from the high school to the other buildings one at a time. And we're hoping to get that up and running as soon as possible. That will continue through the fall and into the winter. And once those are in place and operational, it should see significant savings to the district related to our energy and electric bill. Also, I want to remind people that we have the Sayville Color Mile Run Walk Saturday, September 27th. The rain date is the 28th. The walk starts at 10 a.m. at Sayville Middle School. It's a really great event. And if Ms. Macris, do you want to add anything about the event? We have a lot of vendors, we have a lot of activities, and we have a lot of great things going on there. Okay. That kind of concludes the superintendent's report, and I'll turn it over to you. And I had this, but it's not going to work.
Well, we'll start with the other thing first.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. Okay, board discussion. We're going to start with probably our most important item of the night, and that is that we now have an open board seat. We'd like to thank Dr. James Birch for his service, and we are now left with a decision to make. after referring with council, we understand that we have basically three options. One is to have a special election. Another is to appoint the position, someone to the position. And the third is to leave the position open until um, till the next election, which is when Dr. Birch's service would have ended or would have been up for reelection to begin with. So I'd like to open it up to the board. Anyone like to add some pros, some cons, or which way they are leaning, so that we can come to a decision?
I mean, I think explaining to the public that there would be a cost to have an election, a separate election. You know,
Yeah.
whether it be $10,000 or $20,000.
Yeah, a separate election would cost about $18,000 to $20,000.
My feeling is the timing of the resignation, the financial situation we're in. I think it's, you know, I really, even though there are three legal choices, I think we only have one choice, and there's only one right choice, and that's to leave it blank. I feel like we do a good job. We come to consensus a lot. We have solid discussion, whether we agree on things or not. And I think we can operate well as a board of six until May. And then we let the people that are willing to put in the work to step up and go through the process of running a campaign and, you know, putting their best foot forward. And the best person wins in May.
Thank you.
I agree.
I also agree. I mean, at this time, sorry. I mean, I also agree at this time, I think there's no immediate need. And, but if that should change, like, you know, we wouldn't want to go down to a 5-member board or something like that, you know, because in the past, when we did have an open seat, we sometimes did have to cancel a meeting, you know, because we didn't have enough board members to come. But I think at this time, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, my whole thing is balance. I mean, you know, we saw the petition online that the community had to hold a special election. I don't think the community realizes how much of a financial pinch we are in, to spend $18,000 to basically fill a board seat for probably 4 or 5 months. I just think is a waste of taxpayer money that could be used better. You know, we were talking about aides in kindergarten or whatever else. And, you know, the reason I ran for the board is to help serve kids. And I don't think a 7-person board over 6 months is better than a 6-person board when we could be helping kids with that money. And that's really, and to not appoint somebody, because I think that's subverting the will of the voters. I think they have their chance to speak. You just have to wait until the regular voting amount. And then you're getting the full community support behind that. Whereas if you have a special election, it's going to cost us like $20,000, and then maybe 500 people show up. And that's a fraction of what the normal voting would be anyway. So I respect the democracy of it all. I would love to hold a special election. I wish we had the money to like just kind of throw at that and allow somebody to be in there. But we don't. And so that's why I kind of feel the same way as Desmond.
Yep.
I agree. We should wait until May.
Yeah, I believe that although the petition has never been brought to the board or sent to the board, I believe it was just an election over an appointment. I don't know that it was specific as to what kind of election, but I do agree that the last time this happened, it happened about the same time in somebody's length of service or time of term. And I think we can do it with a 6-person board. So I think we should wait till May. Oh, listen to me. Now I have an echo. And now I realize I hate the sound of my voice. Thank you. Okay, so I think we have a consensus that we will keep the board seat open until May when we get to the original election cycle. Papers for that, if people are interested in running, will go out in April or March, sometime in March. And if something were to change between now and then, we can revisit this.
Agree.
Okay, I forget it's me who keeps talking. I'm like, I'm done. Here we go. Yeah, well, this is going to be difficult without the screens. So
What's going on? Can you reboot it?
do we want to take like a 3-minute pause so we can actually do this correct? Like, I'm fine with that.
What we can, yeah, what we can do if I don't think people will be really upset if we go upstream, we can at least discuss building visits and dates. I don't know that that's exactly the most public thing. We could always announce who's doing what after, so we can have that discussion so we don't stop the meeting. Fair enough? Okay. All right, Sal, do what you got to do. Everybody at home, we will be back online as soon as possible. The only thing we will do while we were gone is choose the dates of who's visiting what buildings when.
All right, so I had asked Mark, if we could possibly do the building visits in one day instead of breaking it up over two, only because last year I was unable, I can't take 2 days off of school. Like, that's tough for me. And I wasn't